Corkery Road. We're headed north. This is the NRO campground, and we'll pass through that, and then we'll be at the property in about a mile. About a mile from where we are now. Got the radio cranking. There we go. It's Saturday morning. It's toward the end of the summer. Quite a few people at NRO. They've got zip lines right there. They've got cabins they rent. They've got campsites. So that's kind of cool to have near the property. They do float trips. So it could potentially be a situation where you can rent a campsite or whatever from those guys and come on down and check out your property, work on your property, while you still have a campsite with electric or water or whatever they offer. Or you can just come camp on your property. That's fun too. So we passed NRO on the right. We've got Tract 10, and we'll count backwards from there. We're going to end up at Tract 7, which is the one we're looking at this morning. There we go. That's Tract 10 on the right. If we kept going on Corkery Road, we would end up at the Barclay Conservation Area. Just go there and converse. The Barclay Conservation Area, just down the road. Okay, I distracted myself. This must be Tract 9. There are signs. You have to look pretty carefully to see the tract signs. There's a ribbon. That's Tract 8, so we're almost to Tract 7. Okay, there's another ribbon, so that's going to be Tract 7 on the right side of the road, the east side of Corkery Road. Oh, it looks great. We'll get out in a minute and have a look at it. I don't see the sign for Tract 7. Oh, I spoke too soon. There it is. Oh. Okay. I'm going to back up and pull off to the side and park here. The topo map indicated that there were some areas where you could pull off where it wasn't too steep, and there was some that were some areas that were a little steeper. But this here looks really good. In fact, if I would have brought even a small handsaw and taken down a few of these trees, I could have pulled right onto the property. Let's have a look at Tract 7. Beautiful horse farm across the road there. So as we look south, Tract 7 on the left. And as we look north, Tract 7 on the right. Actually, I probably could have pulled the truck right in here if I wanted to. But if you're coming with a camper or a vehicle that you don't want to scratch, it would probably pay to bring a small handsaw, or better yet, a small chainsaw. You can take out some of these smaller trees in order to create a nice spot to pull in. But this is basically level here on the west side of Tract 7. This is really nice. A lot of good timber. Tract 7 goes way back to the east. So if you wanted to be up by the road, you certainly could. But if you wanted to be way back and be super private, out of sight, out of earshot, you could do that as well. So a lot of options on this one. And it's wide enough that north to south, it's wide enough that you can have a lot of privacy from any potential neighboring property owners. You'll get some traffic on Corkery definitely during the summertime, and especially the weekends during the summertime. And with it being toward the end of the summer, everybody's trying to squeeze in the last float trip and the last fishing trip. If you haven't already researched the Niangua, or if you're not familiar with the Niangua River, it is an awesome, awesome river. white ribbon section of river for trout fishing, which basically means they have higher limits, that they stock the section with trout. So for children, for anyone, it's a great opportunity to really get into and do some fly fishing, some trout fishing. I wish I had the topo map with me to, I can see how the land is where we are, obviously, but I wish I had the map with me to show me the whole picture. This is sloping down now, but if memory serves from looking at the map, it levels, it slopes back up. I mean, it's just a really interesting mix of different topography, different areas on the property. Beautiful mature timber on this property. This is a great area for hunting, deer hunting, turkey hunting. The deer love this kind of cover, and this seems to be a mix of mature timber and areas with a little more brush. I mean, it's just a really interesting property. Could be an awesome place for a private campsite, or potentially a cabin, or even a year-round home. So this slopes down as we move east. I wouldn't call it steep. Maybe some people would. I would call this kind of a moderate slope. I can see as we look to the east, it levels out down there. More mature timber. I don't recall if Tract 7 has a little bit of that creek or not. We'll have to look at the topo map to see that. But we're right down the road from the Niangua. If you turn on Box Hollow Road, which is just a few hundred feet to the north, that goes east. And I'm told that brings you to the river too, but that it gets a little rough. So probably the preferred way to get to the water is just continue straight on Corkery, and you'll end at that Barclay Conservation Area. And we have checked that out. That is really cool. Huge access point to the river. You can go right, you can fish right there, or you can put in your canoe or your kayak or whatever right there and leave your vehicle. Really cool. So feel free to take your four-wheeler, take your hiking boots, whatever you want to do, and come check out Tract 7. From what I can see, it looks really good, but you're free to walk every square inch of it. Just plan to spend the better part of the day doing it, because it's a large property and there will be a lot to see. So that is Tract 7 at Niangua Valley, as I look directly into the sun and take an awful video where everything looks dark.